everyone. My name is Katie of Greenland Quilter, and welcome to Saturday Night Sewing with Nikolaj and me. And I have a special guest tonight that I have been so looking forward to getting to sew with again. Her name is Shereece, and you. Uh-oh, I hear echo. That must be the laptop. Yeah, I forgot to mute the sound. Sorry. Anyway, Shereece has been here before a long while ago. It's been a minute between, us trying to get together and life gets in the way and people get sick. And, when you're sick, you don't want to do nothing. So it's just been a big domino effect for both of us. But we finally got to get together. So, Shereece, I'm going to spotlight you. And I want you to tell them who you are, to remind them who you are, and also what you plan on working on tonight, and tell us a little bit about your channel and your business.
Well, as Katie said, I am Shereece Nicole of Sew Hooked on Treasures. I have been what I call a piecer since 2010. I had a nice, cute little quilt shop down the way, and they would do my long arming and binding for relatively inexpensive compared to what I realized the going rate was for in the real world, what's the rest of the world. And anyway, I started quilting just really out of boredom. I was in a new small town and I wanted to meet new people. And as I've learned, what a better way to meet people is through quilting and through sewing. So here I am over the years, just sharing what I've learned along the way. And also I started designing my own patterns in technically 2019, we'll say officially 2020, when my kiddos and I moved to Georgia from Germany. We'll say that's relatively speaking a hop, skip, and a jump from where Katie lives now. Let's see. Goodness gracious, about me. I hate talking about me, so that's one thing. The second thing is, besides my quilting and that experience, I've also am a crocheter, which some people may or may not know. I don't know. So I've been doing that now for about the same amount of time. But quilting took the spotlight, if you will, in my heart. So I do mostly that. And then I crochet for charity donations. It's blankets and hats for our local shelters and cancer center. That's the long and short of it. But if there are questions along the way, I am more than happy to answer them. Anybody can chime in. What I'm working on tonight is one, binding strips. Actually, technically, I haven't decided if I'm going to do facing or binding, which we can talk about that as we go along and what the difference is if you have never faced a quilt. I'm working on that. And kind of funny story. I was working on a new pattern that's coming out next month. And I could not find some of these half square triangles that I had already made. And I thought I had torn my sewing office apart. And apparently I didn't look very well. So I had some extras to work with. I finished the quilt, got it all quilted, got the binding on and everything. And then I finally found them. So nonetheless, I'm actually going to take those this evening and sew them together into a smaller version. I hadn't planned on doing a version in this size, but lucky you guys, you're going to get a 4 size with this pattern. So that's what I'm working on tonight.
That's outstanding. What kind of sewing machine are you sewing on tonight?
So this is my new baby. A little excited. I am, as of goodness, week before, something along those lines, a Genome maker. So this is my new Genome machine. I think you can see here on the back. And this is the Horizon Memory Craft 9410 QC. You can't see the front. I can flip up the top and you might be able to see a tiny bit there on it. But it's got this beautiful rose gold color on it, which I absolutely adore. If you've never met me, I'm just going to give you the heads up now. Fair warning, pink is my color. It is in everything. You are barely getting a gist of the amount of pink in this room. from the camera view, but some might say it's a little disgusting. Me, I say it's fabulous because that is just my color. Oh, if you are familiar with Steel Magnolias, pink is my signature color. Hands down, by any means. Like in any quilt, except for one Christmas quilt I finally made my son. I was a bad quilt mama, and he did not have one of his own. So he finally got one this past year. And I know it's February, but it's still on his bed. His idea, that's what he wanted. I'm happy because at least I know he likes it. But I think that is the one quilt in our house that does not have pink in it. So that poor kid. I'm sorry, Brian.
That's interesting because I have a PMQ where there's pink and green in it, and I did not know that you could mix the two colors together. But they have an interesting effect when you put green with pink. It's really cool.
They are fabulous. And actually, speaking of green with pink, because I don't know if you can,
I see there's green there.
Yeah. So I have two shades of pink here. These are Riley Blake fabrics, FYI, which I am also a maker for. But this line is coming out in March, also next month. I think it ships next month, if I remember correctly. But it's called Winged Medley. And I used it with some confetti cotton solids. So I used two shades here. And then these are the two prints from the line. And yes, I love the combination of pink and green. It's gorgeous. So the fabric designer did very well, in my opinion. I may be a little biased, but I love how she mixed the colors.
Yeah, I have to say that after seeing the two together, I'm like, I should make me a green and pink because I'm not much of a pink person or a green person. But with the two together, it gives an interesting effect that I hadn't expected to see. And so that's something that's going to be on my to-do list, pink and green of some type together,
And another color I've started to add recently is this soft yellow. And actually, it's called Beehive. It's a confetti cotton also from Riley Blake, but it's this kind of soft yellow. And I love it with pink and with green also. And they are coming out with, goodness, a ton of new solid colors. And they have taken that same yellow and lightened it somewhat. So I'm excited to play with that as well. I don't tend to do very bright or bold colors. I usually go with more muted. Whenever you see high contrast in something that I'm working on, it's because I've thrown in black, like this one over here on the wall, or a navy blue, or I've gone with a kind of a dark contrast, a very, very distinct contrast with the colors. Okay. So I've been kind of keen on dark backgrounds recently too.
So is that a modern quilt that you're working on on the wall there?
On the wall, this one came out, let's see, 2020, 2021, somewhere around here. This is the Ins and Outs quilt. So it's already out there. FYI, I'll throw in a shameless plug, but my website is sewhookedOnTreasures.com. That's SEW, of course. And so that's already out there and been out there. I did this version in Art Gallery Fabrics.
I misspelled that.
Like called, Duality Fusion. And it's all like blacks and whites and grays. But like when I sent it, I just used the Duality Fusion prints in my mock-up. And they sent it back to me. And they even said, because my reputation precedes me a little bit, they said, Shereece, we know you. So we threw in some pink because we know who you are, which is great because Pat Bravo, one of the owners of AGF, is also a fellow pink lover. So it worked out in my favor in this case.
So would you, so that I can refresh everyone, I couldn't remember if you said you were more the modern maker or the traditional maker, or do you do both?
I'm definitely more of a modern maker.
Okay.
Most of my patterns tend to be more of a modern style with traditional piecing, you're not going to find me doing curves and things like that, really. And I tend to inject plenty of negative space. For one, I like to free motion quilt, and it allows you to play with that. And also, my blocks tend to be a little larger, so they can also dub. As with my throws, I like having coordinated pillow covers. And I say covers because my stuff needs to be able to be washed, so I can take them off the pillows and wash them. With a 9 and a 10-year-old in the house, and okay, quite frankly, can be a bit of a klutz myself, so it just needs to be washable and easy to do that. So, but I like to have coordinating pillow covers with my throws. So with the larger blocks, you can just make one block or two and add pillows for your bed, your chair, your couch, whatever, wherever you're placing the quilt.
So, since we haven't seen each other for a long while, has anything interesting happened in the last, I don't know, year? Because I know it's been a long while for both of us. So if you have anything new that's been going on, you want to share that with everyone?
Well, goodness. So, well, you will say pseudo non-sewing wise, 2024 was a bit of a challenge year for me. Last January, I fell and I hit my head. And yep, so no pun intended when I say this, but literally it landed me in the ICU for about a week, and I had to have brain surgery. And I really lost my sojo over the year, and I had a hard time last year. But thankfully, I am back and back with a vengeance, some might say. Looking at the things that I have, worked out for this year and have already on deck and moving along with and moving forward, it might be a lot, but I don't know. I'm taking it anyway, and I'm ready to move forward. So nothing really major as far as quilting is really concerned. It's really been a time of thinking forward and trying not to hold on to what last year was and that time. So it's been super exciting. I mean, I've, like it said, with going on board with Genome and having that partnership now, and working with them and continuing to work with Riley Blake and Art Gallery Fabrics and goodness. And I've have a pattern coming out with Make Modern magazine again. I haven't done a magazine pattern in, goodness, I don't even know how long at this point. But one actually good thing that did happen last year, I will go back to that. I was in Quilt Book magazine, and I had one of those squealy fangirl moments when the email came across, and my kids thought something was wrong when I read it. Because they came rushing in. They're like, "Mama, what's wrong?" And I told him, but yeah, I was super excited. So it was the first time, I had little snapshots in like Make Modern, and I've had a couple quilt patterns in magazines and whatnot. But it was huge. Like when Quiltful came and they came to my house, and we sat down and we chatted, and then their photographers I just said, hey, have at it. They just took quilts and they ran with it. There's like, anywhere we can't go, and I said, absolutely not. I'm like, enter my kids' room at your own risk, but otherwise,
well,
so it was. That was happy. I'm sorry.
I'm super happy you're back on your feet again. You're the second person that well, I don't know the other person personally because I've never did a Zoom or anything with her, but I follow a channel called Frisian Horses, and she had an accident. It's been 4 years now, and her and her horse fell down, and she ended up in ICU like what you did, and they didn't think she was going to make it because it was pretty catastrophic. and she's back on her feet now. But brain injuries is very hard to overcome, and when you do it, that's kudos to you, girlfriend.
Thank you. Yeah, and
So happy for you.
It was that serious where, you know, my parents and one of my aunts who are in Ohio, they flew in as soon as they could from Ohio. I'm in Georgia, by the way. Yep. And so they flew down here, and my aunt in the middle of the night drove over from Macon, and it's about 2 hours west. Yes, west of here. So yeah, it was very scary, and you know, I think that, and that's that the whole severity of it really kind of affected me mentally and emotionally, you know. So even though like the physical scars, well, the scar's still there, you just can't see it. Thank you, hair. But the emotional scars and the mental scars were definitely those lasted a lot longer than anything else. So it also wearing my go ahead, Katie. What did you say?
It also makes you realize how precious your life is when something like this happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I just remember how scared my children were and that sort of thing. And it's just, I don't know, it was a whole thing. And so I'm just super excited to be back to what I feel like me is, what I was used to. And in some ways, definitely still different and changed, but at the same time, you know, I feel more back to the old me that I used to be.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and I'm so happy that you're here. Okay, so let me say hello to everyone in the chat, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to work on also. Hey, Lori. Hello, Mary. Hi, Sean. Some people. Hey, Ann. Hello, Patricia. And that's all I can see at the moment. Nikolaj is working on the Lego police one.
The one that I've been
Lego City or whatever it's called.
Lego City that I've been working for the last 2 lives.
Yeah, he's been working on the last couple of lives because he had it all mixed up. So he's looking around for all the pieces. He does that sometimes. He already built all of the stuff I got that Santa Katie got him for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
He was at sea, and it was his team's turn to work during the holidays. So that meant that he was gone for Christmas, New Year's, and for our wedding anniversary. So while he was gone, I spent money on him. So when he came home, he had 3 large kits, right, babe?
Yeah.
And then some smaller kits. Babe, I meant to ask you, but did that advent calendar come?
It's here.
Okay, too. So we also got a Lego advent calendar, but he's not going to build that because I have a surprise, because the mail and everything's been so messy for us, and it's worsened. I mean, I haven't seen mail in weeks, and I know I have mail out there, but
wow.
Here, is stuck somewhere, probably because, well, between the weather and all the BS going on about Greenland, it's kind of messed everything up even more than it already was.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Greenland's in the hot seat right now, so it really sucks that it is.
Yeah.
I just wish they'd just leave us alone, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, you know, it's been a while, so one of the things that got hung up and I didn't get until after the fact, and it wasn't it wasn't Cotton Cut's fault. It was the United States Postal Service, and when it hits Denmark, whatever's going on there is affecting us here in Greenland. And so I didn't get any of my Christmas advent boxes, so I had ordered a Cotton Cut's Rosa Fabric Your Way, which is a batik box. I ordered a Rosa Your Way Stitch It kit, Rosa Your Way table runner, and Rosa Your Way placemats. So I have all this that came after Christmas.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, and then of course I ordered Nikolaj stuff, and he got an advent calendar. So it's not been open yet. So Katie's gonna do Christmas in July.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So with my stuff, the fabric stuff, I'm going to be sewing as I open. I open something, I sew it. In the whole month, that's what I'm going to do is just sew or share, sew, share, sew. Yeah, that's my plan. But I'm not going to tell you guys how I'm going to do it. So anyway,
that will be a secret.
Yep, that's top secret right now. I'll start dropping hints here and there because a lot of it's probably going to be pre-recorded, so I can just drop it every day and not get stressed out. But I'll pre-make it. I haven't. I think I have a plan of attack of how I'm going to keep it where I'm not having to, the first year I did a Vlogmas, and doing it every day is stressful.
Yes.
Making a little video every day because it takes people may not realize this, that maybe a video is 10 minutes long, but it takes way longer than that to do a pre-record because you're unboxing it, you're pre-recording it, and then you have to go back and edit it and make sure you take out anything, like dead space out of it or whatever.
Right.
And then it takes
don't
time
forget the bloopers too.
Yeah, there's the bloopers, and then you got to upload this to YouTube. That takes time. Everything takes time. So
all the things.
Well, yeah. So what would have taken you 10 minutes to do on a live takes you probably 4 times that amount of time. So I think what So I think what I'm planning to do is with the fabric, which was 31 days, I'm going to do like 7 per video, 7 days per one video, and sew those 7 pieces into something I got in my head, and then make that video and put it up. And then once a week, you're going to get a video for that particular box. And then for the stitch it, it'll be over a certain period of time. Because I want to like monopolize all of July with it. So I'm going to stretch it all out.
That's right.
And I think, let's see, you come home again in, let me think. You go back to work March the 3rd. So you'll be March and April. So you'll come back sometime in May. You'll be back at sea in July. So anything that has to do with his Lego Christmas stuff, he'll have to do it when he's home this next go around. And I just do a pre-record and then upload it, in July for him to share it with people. That way, he gets credit for that.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be more like Christmas in May or June for him instead.
Anne says that's why I don't make videos laugh out loud. Yeah, so that's why. Okay, so tonight what I'm going to work on, I mentioned this last night, and I even did like a little tutorial because I did 2 different tutorials. Was it last night or the night before I did this, babe? It was either last night or the night before. So and I'll share the link with you in a few minutes, but this is called the Fat Quarter. This is by Fat Quarter Shop. And it's called Charm Pack Chili. It's a free pattern, and it's an interesting way of doing a different kind of block. And so what I did was I have so many charm packs. I finally sat down and counted how many. I have 131 of them.
Oh my goodness.
So the question, and I explained how when I first got started with this, I was like stars in my eyes,
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I think the first time I bought something was in 2017, and I started out with a Sew Sampler box, a Cotton Cuts Classic box, and Sweetwater, which I still do, the classic box and the Sweetwater, but I dropped the Sew Sampler in 2020 because it just wasn't talking to me anymore. It's the same thing every month. So, and I'm discovering that this is cotton that you're going to see me working on, but I am slowly, I think, going to end up totally migrated to batiks probably for the most part, because I am smitten. I'm totally smitten. And I don't care if nobody likes them, but I love them.
Hey, you work with and sew with what you love. And I was telling somebody the other day, that's basically why I really don't do commission work. Mm-hmm. It's nice as it would be to, do that for people, but you end up sewing with things that or colors or fabrics that aren't you and don't speak to you. And it's so hard to do that because it's just you don't feel it. Like you don't, oh, how do the younger people say it? You're not vibing with the fabric.
Yeah, it's not I call it not talking to me. But I have all these charm packs, and when you first see the charm, it's interesting when you're new and you're learning and you don't know any better, because you're a newbie and you see, oh, that looks really cool, but you don't get to see the whole charm pack actually looks like. Right. So you're between the sampler box getting charm packs there and then buying them when they were on sale. So that's ended up why I had so many of them. So I'm on this little mission this year is I'm going to use as many of my charm packs as I can this year by making things. So I have a sew along that's starting next week that's charm pack related. This awesome. Is charm pack related. And what I did was I had 3 packs of Mackinac Island, and I think that's by Moda. And I also had a couple other ones, and there was like blues and grays, a little bit of red, a little bit of browns. And I pulled all the blues and all the grays out of those 4 charm packs. Mm-hmm. And then I did a color study poll with my viewers, and we looked at 4 different shades of yellow, and it ended up we got that this was the height, this yellow and this yellow were the 2 picked. Nice. Because they make the gray, they're dark enough that they make the gray pop.
Right.
And it goes well with this blue. And so what I'm going to do is it'll be 2 shades of yellow in these blocks I'm going to be making. And I'm just intermixing. I'm just going to randomly sew them together, and there'll be each 4 patch block will have a dark blue with a gray and with the 2 shades of yellow.
Cool. Nice. Can I see that the very bottom print of the blues?
You mean this one?
Yes, the bottom one on your stack of squares. The one on the bottom. You mean on the very bottom, the one closest to you.
Or are you talking about this?
No, in your hand.
Okay, so this is the very bottom one.
Oh no, that wasn't what I saw.
I'll show you.
For some reason, I think I know the name of this line sounds familiar. Yes, that's the one. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so this is another line. I can't remember the name.
I remember that print.
Yeah,
I probably have that same charm pack somewhere hidden.
And you probably recognize this from Mackinac, because there's I ended up with like 3 packs of Mackinac Island of these charm packs, and they came in I think 2 of them came in a sampler box, and then I liked the blues so much that I ordered there was a coupon or something where it was 1% off of the Mackinac stuff, so I went and ordered some. So I ended up with all this extra stuff, and then later I'm like, okay, when I started going through the charm pack, I'm like, what am I going to do with all this? I didn't know what I wanted to do with, and that's the problem when you're a newbie. You see, you're like, your eyes are all bright. You see all this beautiful stuff, and you're not thinking ahead of, well, am I going to actually use it? Even though I think it's pretty, but I have a friend that I'm thinking this might work for, and I'm going to test run it and show it to her and her husband. And if they like the blues, and because they like blues, and this gray is more, it looks gray in the camera, but it's actually more like a
blue gray.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think it would work well together. I'm not sure if the pattern is going to work okay. We'll see. I gotta, this first one, I realize I need to sew all my seams open because it'll lay down better. Because I noticed I had a little bit of I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's like this little, see it like right there?
Pucker in the center.
Yeah, and when you pull on it, there's no pucker. It just looks like a pucker.
Right. Yeah. And I'm a huge fan. I know that not all the time, but typically pressing open is not the popular thing to do.
No.
It's like, oh, it takes so much more time. It's but I'm huge on pressing open whenever it is appropriate.
I don't think it takes any more time for me to press open than it does to press to one side, to be honest, because
Me
by
either.
the time you get ready to nest those two seams together, I spend an extraordinary extra time trying to line up those nesting those seams. And so I get frustrated and I go back to just pressing open because I don't mind doing it.
I don't either. It does not bother me to press open. And I am a fan of what I use are, I don't have one.
I think what you have to do is
sitting here. I use those fork pins.
Yeah.
When I press open, when I'm sewing seams and I want them to match up, I'll use fork pins. And
yeah, because you can line those two things together at the same time. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So I get both sides of the seam and they line up, and normally they are here. And I forgot. So I decided this morning, because I didn't have anything else to do. I said, I kind of want to rearrange my sewing office now. So I got this new machine. I want to play with it and play with the layout of my room and change things up. So I was doing that this morning, and now I'm like, okay, where's everything?
Yep, I understand that. I wish I could be a Janome. What did you ambassador?
Janome maker.
This is a Janome. This is my baby. This is a Janome 6700P.
Oh, okay.
And it is now 5 years old, and it's the only machine I have. Well, I have a Singer Talent, but no, we're not going back to that itty bitty machine ever again. Thank you, Janice, so much. No, that's not Janice. That's Shonda. Shonda is another one I like to sew with. I sew with Shonda quite often, and I sew with Janice. So Shonda's under the needle, and Janice is with the Right Way, and they're very talented too. So some more people have come in the chat. Let me say hello to them.
Welcome, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Sherry. Hey, Judy Smith. Hey, Linda. Linda says, good afternoon, Katie, Niko, and Shereece. In the middle of making dinner, but will continue with my chips and stars blocks. I got to organize and found, look at there, 30 charm packs. Excellent. So I'm kind of hoping that this little thing with the charm pack will kind of, filter over to those who have so many of them. And let's see how many charm packs we can actually damage this year in our stash instead of, I'm not on an anti-spend thing right now, but I haven't been able to buy fabric for 3 months. This money's tight right now, and I have enough stash for right now to keep me going for a while. But if you can, instead of just sitting here stacks of these collecting dust, let's see how many of them we can actually use.
Exactly. And they look so, you don't want to open. It's like, oh, they're so pretty. I don't want to open them. But it's like, you're not doing your fabric any justice by leaving it, pile away and stacked away. At least for me, in my opinion, because I came across some fabric that I have been holding on to with like a death grip, because it had this like beautiful shiny rose gold prints in it and rose gold throughout the fabric, and like I have to have the project for it because they don't make it anymore. It's discontinued. I'm never going to have it again. And finally I had to get over myself and just like, you know what? Use it, because otherwise you can't appreciate it in a closet, in a drawer. You can't enjoy it that way. So I had enough to make some small zip bags for like when I travel. I made one box bag for, I wasn't planning on it when I made it, but because the rose gold matches my new baby, it's going to be my accessory bag. So for when I pack my sewing machine up and everything, is I can put like my foot and my cords and everything in this bag, and well, it will match my machine.
Shonda just dropped a super chat. Thank you so much, Shonda. I'm trying to raise funds because you can see a little bit of what I'm doing here, but I need an apparatus where I can make my phone like sit, or get an apparatus and a small camera where I could put it like over this sewing bed area so you can see the sewing machine and what I'm doing at the same time. Because the angle of what I have right now, it teases me. So it's weird this way. It needs to be like where it's facing the same direction I am, so you can see exactly how I'm doing it in real time. So I'm saving up money so I can buy a couple hardware pieces so I can kind of upgrade my video a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And you mentioned, you know, the challenge with getting fabric overseas. And when I was living in Germany, it was because, quilting cottons are not as popular that I was finding in the fabric stores. And also
it's crazy.
Yep, when you did find them, they were expensive. I was, it was somewhere around 25 to 30 euro per meter. So it was, oh my goodness. I was like, okay, so that's when I stopped with just, buying new fabric and working with what I had. And I also had a hard time with shopping online because it's hard to, you can have your laptop and your phone right next to each other with the same exact fabric and it looks two different colors. So it's so hard to match that way. So I would just wait until the summertime when we would go back stateside to visit. And I had this vacuum cleaner box from my parents' house. And that thing made multiple trips across the Atlantic, let me tell you. Between, bolts of fabric, projects back and forth. And I just waited until, I would come back here and I would go to quilt stores or our soon to be former friend. I don't know how that's going to work out, Joanne's.
I go back to the States every other year, and I brought home quite a bit of stuff. Now, I didn't spend a ton of money last year, but I had stuff sitting in my daughter's house where I had bought from Soya when I was on a Soya kick, and so I had all of that, and I just sent a lot of it home, mailed it home, and some of it came home in a suitcase. We came home with an extra suitcase full of fabric, but and it was all boutiques. But I need to catch up in the chat real quick. So hey Sherry, welcome. I'm sorry if I didn't say hi right away. Hey not Janice, Shonda, sorry. My goodness. Hi Linda. And anyone else, the guy, let's see, Sean says the one I'm doing with Tammy is Fab Farm by Elizabeth Hartman. That was the horse block I saw his little horse block this morning. Oh my gosh, it's so super cute. He's doing farm patterns. He's on one of those. He likes Elizabeth Hartman patterns.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of those over the last couple of years. I've noticed, and it's really a lot of fun watching him put them together. Okay, do you guys have any questions you would like to ask Shereece? Post them in the chat. Hello, the Bud Files. Also, if you have a channel, don't forget to type !selfie to share your channel. I've been sharing your channel, by the way, Shereece. Also, I need to show you this pattern that I was talking about because those that weren't here last night when I mentioned it might not have seen it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over to my other browser, and I have already shared the oh my gosh, what's going on here? I had already shared the link for this free pattern, but I will also share it again in a minute. But it's called the Charm Pack Chili by Fat Quarter Shop. That's what I'm working on tonight, and it is free. You don't have to pay any money. You just go over to the Fat Quarter Shop website, and I'll show you what it looks like. So let me share the screen real fast. All right, we're going to share. And okay. And I'll be sharing two different screens. Can you see it, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just go to Fat Quarter Shop, and like I said, I'll share the link here directly. And all you have to do is click on the download here because it's free. You don't even have to have an account actually, and it'll download to whatever you're downloading onto. I'm on my laptop. Then you click on it. Can you see this too, babe?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you download the PDF. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to enlarge it enough where you can see the pattern. It's free, and there's a couple sizes of this. This one's 56 by 53. And it's an interesting way that Kimberly has you doing these blocks. But you start out with a 4-patch block right here. And then after you sew the units together, you're going to make 15 for this pattern. Oh, here's a better, then what you do is you draw a diagonal line on the back side of it, straight through the center. Then you're going to take your ruler and you're going to line up that ruler on that center line that you drew, and you're going to measure a 1/2 inch, and you're going to cut on the one side, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then you end up with 2 pieces, and then the center's not going to get used. So you end up with these 2 different interesting pieces. And then you take it down here and you're going to sew these 2 pieces together, and that's what gives you that effect. And then here's what it looks like. This is a better picture of it, of what it looks like. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
I have never seen one look like that before. It's interesting. So the biggest challenge for anyone is going to be getting these 2 seams right here to line up. And the beauty of this is, though, she has you trim these blocks down to 8 inches. So if the two down here on each end doesn't match, but you've got these center seams matched, it's not going to matter, because you still have to trim down, and you're trimming off about a 1/4 of an inch off, because because you have a diagonal, and that's how you're going to trim it, like you would a 1/2 square triangle. You're going to trim about a 1/4 of an inch off 2 sides, and then you're going to flip it around and do a 1/4 of an inch off the other 2 sides, and then you have an 8-inch block. So you'll end up with everything lined up the way it's supposed to be anyway. So it's not too terribly hard. At least she has it on. I don't have the link for the live that she did. She actually sewed the block on a live. But if you go to Fat Quarter Shop and you probably go back about a month, maybe, you should be able to find it. Or go to the Fat Quarter Shop's blog, and in the search, in the search box, type Charm Pack Chili, because she did a blog about it. And you can find the information of where the video is for that, or you can just watch me make them, whichever makes y'all happier.
Yeah, it's funny. I just did a pattern of theirs. I think I just posted it on Tuesday. I was gonna say I did it on Tuesday, but that's not how I operate. I work ahead of myself. That's what I like to do. Like you were talking about the pre-recording and whatnot, but it's called the Amish Star Block, another free pattern of theirs. Oh, and I was drawn to it because it has an Ohio star in the center of it. Yeah. Being an Ohio native, it was a natural, like, yes, I'm in, sign me up. I will be more than happy to make this block.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed that we're not doing a Stronger Together so long this year. Making me a little sad because I didn't see any mention of it in January that we were going to be doing another one. So I wrote on Kimberly's Facebook group asking about it. Seems they're not doing one this year. So I was like a little disappointed, because I've been doing the Stronger Together Quilt Along, which raises funds for the United Negro College Fund. And so that was why I was doing them, to help, donate and to help raise funds. And I really enjoy it because the quilts were being designed by people of color.
Yeah, and they're actually still doing the fundraiser this year. They did not do
they're doing the fundraiser, but she hasn't hardly mentioned it. She's only mentioned it once.
I think I've only seen it once myself, and actually I was going to do the same. Today is Saturday. I think that's tomorrow or Monday. So one of the two. But
yep. So I'm thinking what I'll do is for all of February mention about, if you would like to donate to a good cause, go over to the United Negro College Fund website and donate, $10, $15, whatever you can spare, even $5. That's money that's going to help a student go to college, because that's what this is for.
Absolutely. And it's nice, because let's say the first year I participated and sewed along. Yep. And the second year, another fangirl moment when they asked me to design the second years.
Yep.
And so that was a lot of fun, and working. Jocelyn was the person. She's still there, actually. I make it sound like she's not there anymore.
She is a designing maniac, let me tell you.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh, she designs a lot.
I know, and it's crazy. I'm thinking like, man, the nice thing for her is that she's not a one-person show. They have an excellent team of people to work with and to help with that. And so the great thing was like, Shereece, we just, need the design and we'll do the quilt math and the instructions. And I was like, yay!
She's very good at it, that's for sure.
Oh, well, thank you. I had a lot of fun doing that one, and all of mine, all the ones that I made are downstairs in our family room. Like,
I have three
together.
or four. I don't know that you've seen this past year's one or not that I did. The one where there was 4 designers.
Yes, it was myself and 3 other people that designed last year.
So I don't think you saw that I finished the top. I haven't got it quilted yet, but it is finished. The top itself is finished. Hang on, let me here. Yeah, okay. Here it is. It's super cute. Yeah, probably. This is not that big, but I gotta get this chair out of the way so they can see it. Yep, we got it.
Oh, that came out great.
It's all batiks. But I loved how that we did that border around it too. So you got to use the batiks that you used, more of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That turned out great. I love it.
Yeah, me too. I just need to get it quilted. So I haven't found a back for it yet. It's kind of funny. I have 2 or 3 quilt tops that are batiks that I can't decide for backing on. Just lay it over there and I'll refold it later, babe. Because I folded it in a specific way. Oh yeah, by the way, check this out. I even put a little label in one of these blocks. See this?
Oh, cute.
Isn't it cute?
Very nice.
I really enjoyed doing them because they're not too big, and since you only sew them in February, it's not a month to month thing. You get it all done in 1 month. So these, I think that was what, 53 inches or something like that. I think
something like that. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. And the other 2 that I have done is also around that same size, and I found it very easy to do. Okay, let me see if I've missed anything. All right. Anyone have any questions for Shereece? And I'm going to keep on sewing here. Oh, let me share that. I'm going to type !chili, and that is for how to follow the link to Fat Quarter Shop for this chili pattern. I was going to say something about, I think that now I forgot her name of Fat Quarter Shop, the designer. Darn it.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, I think, designed this chili pattern. Because I think that's what Kimberly had said, that she had designed it.
Yeah, I don't remember who did the Amish stars that I just sewed up.
I don't know, but I'm going to go look at
that
Amish star.
Designers there.
Yep.
Did Shereece know the start of your machine?
Yeah, I told her a long time ago when we first got together. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to learn more about Shereece, I did a interview podcast with her, and all you have to do is go to my main page of my YouTube channel and click on the podcast list. You're gonna have to scroll and look for it. I'm sorry, because there's so many of them now, but I did do an interview with her, and it was a lot of fun. And you can learn more about her and everything as well. So that's great. Hey, Stephanie, what's going on? It's been a while.
Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Her channel is called Memoirs of a Long Arm.
Yeah.
Long Armor. Yeah. Something like that.
I haven't seen you in way too long, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I think a lot of people, a few of us, a few quilters this past year has had some struggles and has had to take a little time away from YouTube.
Well, I get that, and every now and then it helps to take that break.
Yeah. You get burnt out.
Unplug-ish, because I don't think we ever totally unplug. Some people do. Good for you. I can't say like I don't, have my moments, but like especially in the summertime when my kids are out of school or long breaks, like over the winter break, I try to not work as much during those times so I can be more present and we can do stuff together. I mean, especially in the summer, I think we practically live at our pool. It's like less than a 10-minute walk, and it's like, oh, okay, let's have breakfast. What do you guys want to do? The pool.
Go sit at the pool, do nothing.
Yes. Yes, and it's close enough where we can go and have fun and then come home and have lunch and regroup and then go right back.
Stephanie says she's still on a break, and yes, it's been a long time.
It has. Oh my goodness.
Now, tomorrow I have a live, and it's going to be it's a bit of a different kind of live that I'm doing tomorrow. But Danny of So Not an Expert is going to be hosting with me because she's not been afraid to talk about mental health. And the live tomorrow afternoon, we're going to sew, of course, but we're going to be talking about mental health and how crafting and hobbies and how we use that to help us through bad periods. But also, I'm hoping that a few people who might have tips can share their tips so that other people can add those tips to their toolkit to help them during rough times. Because when I get in one, I call it I'm in a funk. That's what I call it. I absolutely just can't function it's like a shutdown, I guess. And my kids call it the shutdown because I've done it when they were teenagers. And because certain things happen during that time frame. But anyway, we're hoping we can like start a little community of where if someone needs to talk to someone, they know where to go. She's going to be sharing phone numbers, so if they're in really big trouble, they can call a phone number and ask for help. If you're from Europe and you know of any phone numbers, that would be great. You can share them tomorrow. I don't know if Greenland has any numbers or not, but I'm probably the only Greenlander besides my husband on a live from YouTube anyway. So yeah,
that's I can completely relate to that. And actually, another quilty friend of mine, she did a podcast about it's called Thread and Therapy, and
Yep.
And it is amazing how many times I have laughed my way through sewing. I have cheered my way through sewing. I have bawled my way through sewing. And literally, there are some projects that are, blood, sweat, and tears because inevitably I'm going to poke myself with a pen. It just happens. But it happens. And it's amazing how therapeutic it can be. And there was even a study, my sister, who is a licensed counselor, she sent us an article about a recent study. I don't know how recent, so I'm relatively recent, about how crafting or some sort of creative outlet and how that could be beneficial to your mental health. And I joked with her. I was like, don't use that as an excuse to go shopping. Like, we know you better. Her and I, being the more crafty ones in our family, it skipped 2 generations in our case, both of us. But it's one of those things that it's amazing how that works out and how helpful it can be.
I think that if we can actually talk about it in a relaxed manner, because it seems like it's a taboo thing in a lot of channels. It's like, don't bring up anything about mental health, or don't bring up that you have PTSD, or that you suffer from. I'm like, what's the big deal here? Why is it taboo? It's part of who you are as a person. You didn't ask to be this way. And it reminds me of this song, "Is I Was Born This Way." You know, you didn't ask for none of this. So why should you hide it when you might meet? To me, it's like this saying, if you smile at someone, you might change their world. If you talk to someone who needs to talk, you might help change their world. You might help them, or you might be the person who prevents them from doing what they were thinking about doing. I mean, when I lost my husband to suicide, back then I didn't have any. I mean, I knew he was depressed. I knew he was angry. There was a lot of stuff going on with him that I couldn't explain because he was also doing drugs. And I couldn't understand this need to do drugs when he had us. I mean, I had no understanding of any of it because I felt like that maybe I did something wrong, or maybe my kid, especially my youngest daughter, the last time we saw her daddy, it was in an argument. She blamed herself because he went and hurt himself.
Oh,
and we didn't have no kind of toolkit to navigate through this kind of a crisis. And if it hadn't have been for, they have a in Columbia County when this happened, the local police department sent a social worker to us, and she wasn't there to take my kids away or nothing like that. That's not what she was there for. She was there to help us navigate getting help because of all the wreckage he left behind with him. And because I didn't know who to talk to, and I didn't know how to help my two teenage, because I had 3 kids, but one of them was already out on her own, but the other 2 were under the age of 17. And I didn't know how to help them because it became a crisis for them, because within a month after that happened, they came home crying, my son and my daughter, saying, "Mom, I'm not going to school anymore." And I'm like, "Excuse me?
Oh,
I'm not going to school." "But you have to go to school." "Mom, I can't." And when I finally sat down, I said, "Tell me why." "Because no one will leave us alone, Mom. Everywhere we go, it's, 'I'm sorry,' or 'Why did your dad do what he did?' And none of us had an answer why he done it, because we'd never in a million years thought he would do something like that to himself.
Goodness.
It was a total shocker. I halfway thought one day, because he was the way he was, he'd get in his truck and leave. We thought that's what would happen, but not do what he did. And I didn't know what to say to my kids. And then I had truancy on my steps within about a month. And they send cops to come and have this discussion with you. And they're telling you, if you don't get your kids back in school, we have to arrest you. And when he made that threat, I said, "So what am I supposed to do with 2 children who just went through a suicide of their father, who can't go to school because kids won't leave them alone about it? What am I supposed to do with that?" And then they're like, "Oh my God, we didn't know that's why they were skipping school." I said, "See, so you made an assumption that I was being a bad parent and not making my children go to school." So it ended up that we had a couple social workers, and we started going to a mental health therapy, but my son would not talk. They tried different therapists. They tried everything, and he totally shut down. He wouldn't talk. He wouldn't go to school. He wouldn't hardly crawl out of bed. He quit his job. He had a part-time job. I mean, the whole 9 yards. He was just struggling. And he has struggled for the last, I didn't realize this, but next year it'll be 20 years since his dad passed. And he's had one struggle after another struggle. And now he's a single dad raising a son because of a crazy mother. And so he has no contact with the mom. And so he's trying to raise his son. And then they had a 10-month period of being homeless. So it's been like this domino effect, and it's all because he never dealt with the loss of his dad. That's everything that's happened since that has been his decision on how he's lived his life, how he's gotten in with he didn't do drugs, he wasn't drinking, wasn't doing any of that. He just was with the wrong person. And this wrong person drained him totally. I mean, totally, because she saw that he was weak and she preyed upon that. And so but now he's finally in his own place. He's back to working. Him and Blaze are doing really good. So many people in Georgia, because he moved to Georgia, and the people in Georgia are just, I have to say that your state is wonderful because they have so many programs to help people who are homeless, people who are suffering from mental health problems, there's not very many programs for single dads raising a child. So that's a difficulty that we've run into. But overall,
usually single moms.
Yeah, it's always single moms with children. So they never had shelters for dads with children. It was shelters for women and children, but not shelters for dads and children. So that's something that needs to change over time, I think. But anyway, so tomorrow, that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm hoping that, if we have enough of a group of people, whenever someone is in trouble, they can come in and say, I need help. Because I would rather see someone ask for help than do something they can't go back on. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. My goodness.
Yep.
Well,
so,
it's nice to hear that they are doing better.
they're doing
are they
way
still
better.
in Georgia?
Yep, they live in Carrollton. The biggest obstacle he's running into right now is, so next week they go on winter break, and he has nowhere to take his son so he can work.
Because
next
week they're on winter break?
Yeah, next week they start winter break.
Oh.
They're off for a week. Yeah, and then they have a spring break, I guess, in April. So, but his son gets to go to, I don't know if you're familiar with the program called Impact, but it's an after-school program. So Impact is open on Mondays through Thursdays, and they're open until the bus drops them off from school to Impact, and then he gets to stay until after. I think Thomas has to have him picked up by 7. They feed him a hot meal, a dinner. All the kids get to eat a meal before they go home with their parents. They make sure the child is fed before they send them home. So it's a really good program, but they don't have after school care on Fridays. They're closed on Fridays. So he stays after school. There's a shorter, I think it runs from as soon as school gets out until 5 o'clock. On Fridays, there's an after-school thing at the school. So as soon as Thomas gets off from work, he has to run over there real fast and pick him up. And he gets off from work at 5 o'clock too. So, but he's working for a company called Tanner Grocery. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they've had their business. Their business has been running for 140 years. So, and so far, anytime he's had to take time off because school had a teacher's work day or Blaze has been sick and he couldn't send him to school. They've been super accommodating because he's only been working for them since the latter part of about mid-December he started working for him, I think, or the latter part of it anyway. Maybe it was in between Christmas and New Year's, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I helped him file taxes and he only had enough income for one paycheck. It was hilarious. But I helped him get his taxes filed, so that's cool.
Well, that's okay. One paycheck is better than none. So
that's
at least
exactly
it's something,
right. Yep. And his whole attitude and demeanor is better, and he seems more relaxed. And I'm just they're in the program that he's through, put him into what they call like a mini apartment. So it's like it's 2 bedrooms, but it's like a mini. You know how you see mini. It's like a tiny home, but this is this is one long house that's been cut in half, and someone lives on the front side of it and he lives on the back side of it, but it's very tiny. But
Got it.
for the first time in Blaze's life, he has his own bedroom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I bet he loves that.
He is loving it, and Thomas is loving that they have their own place and they're not couch, as the new term is, couch surfing, I guess, where you're
Right.
living on somebody else's good graces. And
Right.
you know, because he hasn't had his own place in a long, long time. So everything's doing good, and I'm very optimistic that things are going to keep on moving forward.
That's fantastic. Well, I will be sure to put them on my prayer list.
Thank you.
You know what? Before I forget, because that's how my brain works, I need to write it down, so I make sure that I do.
But they live in Carrollton, and a lot of people, a few quilters have donated to help them, because when they moved, they didn't have anything. So when they moved into this apartment, there was no beds, no nothing. They still don't have a dining table, but I'm not going to complain too much about that, because they do have beds to sleep on now because of 2 different people who bought them beds. And the kitchen's about 70% stocked, I guess you could say.
Right.
You know, dishes, and you know, because he needed everything. And they're doing good, and we're slowly progressing, and I keep adding out, you know, I'll go on Amazon and I'll buy one more thing and have it sent to him, so that he, you know, he has things that he needs for the kitchen or for the bathroom, you know. But
Right.
And then people donated to GoFundMe as well at the beginning when he was homeless. They were helping with that, and the community and a lot of the people who donate, I am so thankful for them, because there was a couple of times where they had to sleep in the car, and I worried, you know. And
that's what us parents do.
Yeah, you never stop being a mom just because your child is an adult.
Right. And it's, you know, my 10-year-old, she just said, she's like, Mama, you don't need to worry. I'm 10 now. I was like, oh, you're cute. I said, good luck, kiddo. I can guarantee you, I don't care if you're 100.
He just turned 30. Let's see, Lynn turned 38. So he just turned 36 in January. And, you know, I wish for him to, you know, fall in love one day. I hope he does, because I would hate for him to spend the rest of his life without someone, you know. But when I bring the subject up about, you know, when things get even better, where you can, you know, splurge just a little bit, why don't you join a bowling league? That's a good way to meet a girl. And you know what his answer is? I'm not interested, Mom. He's interested in bowling. He's not interested in meeting a woman. It's like she really tainted him, and he just doesn't want to be put through that again.
You know, and that's a tough one, because when you have you know, a bad experience, you know, especially depending on how bad, it can, you know, change your outlook and your thoughts and how you view that. And that was, you know, I guess not to, well, we're getting personal. One of the things when my ex-husband and I, when we were going through our issues, challenges, what have you, one of the things that was never set right with me was the example that we were setting to, you know, for the kids, you know, and what is a marriage supposed to or should look like, can look like. And it was just like, this is not it, babies. This isn't it. And so as much as it's nice to have 2 parents together in the same house, you know, just because that is a nice to have doesn't always make it a should have or good to have.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, you know, he may have a hard time deciphering who would be a good person and who wouldn't, because let me tell you what, she had all of us fooled. Because when you were in her presence, she acted like a well-educated woman. And she was super polite. It was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all these kind of things that I was raised to be polite, but behind, when you didn't know the other part of it. And when I finally figured out what was going on, it took a while. It took something catastrophic for my son to separate himself from her. And by then the damage had been done so badly that, by the time all of us was trying to help him, and then we ended up getting Blaze because the Department of Children's Services called me here in Greenland, of all places. I don't know how they found out my phone number, but they called and says, are you Blaze Thomas or Blaze Douglas's grandmother? I'm like, yeah. Did something happen to my grandson? No, but something might. And she told me what was going on. And I said, so what are you asking? Is there anyone in your family that can take your grandson? And I said, give me your phone number. I'll call my daughter, because I knew where Blaze was at. Right. And so I called my oldest daughter, who happens to live in Florida too. And she just happened to be in South Florida at the time when I called her. And I told her what was going on. She says, Mom, I'll go get him. And she did. She went and she got him, because DCF was going to remove all her kids. And she didn't. And the DCF had given us the option to prevent Blaze from going into foster care if a family member would take him. And then the only thing that happened after Lynn took him is DCF came over to Lynn's house and talked to Lynn and Eric and looked at their house to make sure that their living arrangements was fine. And then we asked, by then Thomas had been moved to California to totally separate himself from all of it. Mm-hmm. And we asked DCF if there was going to be a problem about Lynn taking Blaze to California and turning him over to his dad. And he says, that's what we want you to do. Give him to his dad if his dad can take him. Otherwise, a family member can raise him. And I'm like, okay, then. So Lynn got on a plane with him and took him to California. And Thomas has had him since he's 3. And now he's 8. So he'll be 9 in July. So he's had him all this time. And the stuff my grandson was doing to start with, it was scary, some of the stuff that they went through with him. I didn't realize how bad it was with his mom until, kids do things and you start watching what they're doing and you're like, oh my gosh. Like, he had to have 4 water bottles in his bed.
Like full?
With water in them. And when I stayed with him, he was probably 4 when I came on that one time. And I asked him, I said, Blaze, why do you have 4 water? Because I don't want to be thirsty. I'm like, why would you be thirsty? Because I was always thirsty with my mother. And I'm like, wait, what? And the other thing that was happening was he was taking food without, asking. He was taking it because he thought he was going to starve.
Right.
Now he doesn't do any of that. He keeps a water bottle by his bed, but he's not got multiple of them anymore. And he's not going into the kitchen, sneaking into the kitchen to eat when no one's around. He's not doing any of that anymore. And so, but it's taken time and it's taken therapy for him to get past all those things. And this school he's in is a Gold Star school he's in. And so they have a specialist that's been working with him too. And he's been a bit behind in his reading, and they almost have him caught up to the grade level he needs to be at. He's exceptional in math, and he's just doing good. And I'm so happy for both of them. And I need to comment. Yeah, and I need to comment on something Rita said. She said, my youngest daughter's husband ended his life on Thanksgiving in front of the kids. I am so sorry for that, Rita.
Yeah, me too. My goodness.
Mine didn't do it in front of my kids, but it's still catastrophic what you're talking about. And I'm so sorry.
Wow.
And I hope your kids are doing okay. I hope the 2 kids are doing okay now. That's why I try to be there for my kids even now as adults, because, things you never know if there's a trigger or whatever.
You never know. Absolutely not. That is for sure.
And I didn't mean to get off on this. But if you guys are interested in talking about mental health and if you have tips and tricks that you can share, come to the live tomorrow so that we can start. I don't know exactly how maybe I can do like a blog and do like a tips and tricks and these things you can add to your toolkit. You know, if you have something that you do that helps you through, I can tell you that because my life for 44 years was pretty bad. One of the things I did is I spent an extraordinary amount of time outside gardening. That was because it's I call it my superpower. It was my way to deal with the bad, because when you're outside and you're gardening, it's the same as sewing. You're sewing, and especially if you're by yourself and you're sewing, once you get yourself going, it's the hard part's getting going. But once you get started going on making something or digging in the dirt or playing music, or my husband laughs sometimes because I'll be in this weird mood and I'll put music on, and within 5 minutes I'm doing this. I'm sitting on my butt, dancing in the chair, sometimes even singing, you know, because the music lifts my spirit, you know. So these are all little things you could put in your toolkit. If music lifts your spirit, listen to music. If gardening lifts your spirit, do that. If sewing does it, you know, or if you just need to talk, that's what I'm hoping tomorrow's goal will be, that we can talk about that kind of thing.
You know, you mentioned that, but it's, you know, when I sew, it's usually, I usually have music going. And
Yep.
People ask me like, well, what do you listen to, or what do you like? And I said, it depends on if I have to think or not. Because if it's something where I have to think and concentrate, it can't have words. So I usually
you'll be singing to it.
Yeah, because otherwise, if it has words, next thing you know, I want to sing. And if I'm singing, it's a mess. And what comes out of my sewing machine,
like crash and burn, because you're singing. I'm like, wait, what was I doing?
Exactly. Like, I lost my mind. I have no idea. So if I have to concentrate, it's classical. There's no words, and I can still enjoy the noise and the music. But if I don't have to think, it totally depends on my mood. It can be anything from like, I don't know, you know, pick a decade I want to go with. Or one day last week I was in a Madonna scent for some reason. It was like I told my Alexa, I can't say the name, or she will start playing for us.
Yeah.
I told her to just, like, you know, shuffle songs by Madonna, and I got all decades in this mix. And some songs, you know, what's funny is I have to write down a lot of notes. I keep notes all the time. I have notes on my phone. You know, I have my calendar for my schedule, all the things, right? That I can walk into a room and I'm like, why did I come here? I totally forget. But I can remember every single word to a song that came out in 1994.
Exactly.
Why is that?
It's like remembering phone numbers, but not remembering where you laid your keys.
Right. Where's my phone? Where's my glasses? And they're right on my face, you know?
Yep. Or glasses.
That.
Put your glasses up here, then you're looking for your glasses, and it's on top of your head.
Yes, absolutely. But I can remember every single word to some song that came out in the early 90s. I don't know. Don't know.
Who I loved listening to the most when it came to women? I liked Madonna, but if I had to choose between Madonna and Donna Summer, it would be Donna Summer. Because the first time I heard her sing MacArthur's Park, I'm like, and it was in it was in a live, I guess, where she souped it up some more. And I'm like, oh my God, I love it, you know. And then I started listening to her other stuff, and I actually have 4 of her vinyl albums, and one of them is got MacArthur's Park on it. But then there's the one about Hot Stuff is one of them, and you know she sang, you know, she's always singing about being naughty and stuff like that, you know. She was something else.
She's funny. Yes, that's fun. Yeah, but you can just, it's funny the memories that some music invokes too.
Yeah.
You know, because you remember when it came out, and you remember like you know, whether you played it on vinyl or was played on a cassette or whatever. You know, even so my kids and I were watching this show, and this one character made another character a mixtape. So my 9 and 10-year-old are like, "What's a mixtape?" Oh my goodness, these poor children. Like, let me educate you on mixtapes.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of, you know, the recording of the songs and like requesting songs from the radio and having to like be there waiting for it to play on the radio to record it, and things like that. It was, you know, their minds were blown. Even when I told them that, I said, "Oh yeah, when I was a kid, we could only watch cartoons on Saturday mornings." They were like, "What?"
Yeah. In my household, and when I was growing up, my parents listened to country western music, but I couldn't stand it because it was always about drinking and so and so cheating on so and so, and I didn't get, and I definitely didn't get their love for Elvis Presley. But one time I was watching a Muppet show at someone's house, and Elton John was my first exposure to Elton John, and he was singing Crocodile Rock. And you got the Muppets dancing around to Crocodile Rock. And I'm like, oh my God, I want that song. So you know what I did? Because we weren't allowed to listen to rock and roll. So I went up to the music store, and that's when they sold 45 records.
Right.
You know, they sold vinyls, but they also sold the smaller vinyls too, where you could just buy the top hit. And I bought Crocodile Rock. And before I knew it, I had several 45s that I snuck in that my parents were unaware of, because they're small enough to hide. Right. And whenever they weren't home, we'd go put me and my sisters, because they were doing the same thing. We would go get all our 45s out because we knew they were going to be gone 3 or 4 hours. And we'd go crank up the stereo, put all of them on the record player, and we would just be bopping around. But I love Elton John. That was my first experience to listening to that kind of music, and then it progressed from there. And it wasn't just rock and roll I liked. I mean, I liked a lot of I liked R&B. It's weird with me. I liked everything but country western stuff, and as an older adult, I still can't get into hip hop at all. I just don't understand it.
Well, I do all of that, and it's funny because I remember there was my senior year in high school. We were at band camp, and I was in the, depending on where you're from, Flag Corps, Color Guard, but this song from Little Texas came on, and it's called God Bless Texas. No, I'm not from Texas. At that point, I had never been to Texas, but I knew the words to this song, so I'm singing it. And even my parents were like, how does she know this song? So like, there's random country songs that somehow I will catch on to. When it comes to like to hip hop and rap, I am definitely like an older school person. Like anything from my we'll say 80s, 90s, we'll go into 2000s. You know, that's mostly what I will listen to. And that's, you know, that's
do you think that Black Eyed Peas is considered hip hop, or do you think it's called rap?
Well, they're a mix, because you have oh gosh, I just brain dumped his name. Will.i.am, who's a part of that group, and so there's kind of like a crossover.
Yeah, their music's beautiful. It's one of the few that I actually enjoy, and I enjoy that particular group.
Yeah, and then so like, and that's happening a lot more now, is this whole crossover of genres of music. So you have like the country and rap combination, country and R&B combination, and things like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's become this whole like
let's ask,
if you will.
Yeah, let's ask the channel a question. For those of you who were Madonna fans, what out of all her music, what song did you love the most? Let's see what they
Ooh.
say. And I want to know what your favorite song was too, Shereece.
Gosh. Oh, this is tough.
So
Man.
name one song that out of all of them that you love the most. I can tell you which one I loved.
Okay, go with yours first. Go ahead.
I love the one about like it's not like, oh my gosh, what's, got to think of the title of it. It's the one where the video for it's talking about praying.
Like a prayer.
Like a, yeah, I think it's called Like a Prayer. I like that one, and I also like Papa Don't Preach.
Yes, I remember having that when that because Papa Don't Preach came out on her True Blue album.
Yeah,
and I had it on the cassette tape, and we used to play it on the boombox at Latchkey after school. And I don't know, it was such a big deal. Well,
her Like a Prayer song was so controversial. That was so
most
many
of her
people
stuff
got
was.
upset. Well, all of her stuff. Look at the way she dressed. But
Right.
man, when she did that Like a Prayer song, boy, did people get upset.
Oh yes, yes they did. Oh my goodness!
They were
And then,
not happy with that video, and I'm like, what's the big deal?
oh yeah, and if that was, I mean, then that was a big deal. You know, it's so funny. But when I was listening to the mix, the last week, this past week, I don't know. When I say the other day could be yesterday or 2 years ago. Just for the record, you know, time blend. But when I was listening, that same album, La Isla Bonita, was one of my favorite songs.
I love that one too.
The melody of the song, and then with the infusion of the Spanish, and yeah, that was one of my favorite songs when I was younger, and even still now. But gosh,
have you ever watched one of her lives where she did Like a Virgin? Have you seen that live where she was
recently?
Oh, when I watched it, I can't remember what year that live was televised, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I bet you my face stayed red the whole time I was watching it because I mean, I didn't expect that, and the way the clothing she had on, and the pointy gear on the front, if she was trying to talk somebody, she sure did.
The tones, definitely.
Yeah. Shonda says, I can't pick a favorite Madonna song, but Borderline is up there, and Lie and Live to Tell is the other one. Yep, those are great songs.
So great. Yes, good choices. Love that.
Yep, very good choices.
It is hard to pick, though. I mean, because I just think, like, she's had ins and outs, ups and downs for me, as far as my listening preferences. And so there's sometimes in that I just like, I'll pass. But then, she throws in some every now and then that catch on for me.
Material Girl was another one that really rocked everybody.
It did. I
walk around singing that one all the time because I couldn't help it because it was so catchy.
It was. What? Oh gosh, she just typically does that when she has those catchy songs, and usually it comes with some sort of message, some point she's trying to get across.
Rita says she's not a Madonna fan, but she liked the one called Open Your Heart.
That's a good one too. And the controversial one with that was the video she did where she was like in basically like a peep show.
Yeah.
That was how the video went. But the song was good, but the video did not go over well with parents.
Some of the videos really did bug people, but I've seen worse than that, you know what I mean?
Well, especially now, it is, it's one of those things where you just, the level of information and the level of things that people will openly talk about has definitely changed.
Do you like rock and roll?
No. I do. So I'm a very big.
So who is your most favorite of rock and roll bands? And then give us the name of a song from that band.
I am gonna have to say Foo Fighters, and that
Okay.
spans decades as far as
Yep.
songs that I like by them. And they are probably one of my favorites. So a song, I mean, goodness, Wheels, Everlong, gosh,
Rita
Making a
said the big
Fire. That's one of my favorites.
awesome.
There's a whole laundry list.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of, I think that was my playlist. Was that today is Saturday? No, I didn't sew yesterday. So earlier this week, that was my playlist. I just said shuffle songs by Foo Fighters.
I know there's an age difference between me and you, but one of the things that I've discovered is, you know, when I first started out with rock and roll, I was a Styx follower and a Foreigner follower. It was Styx, Foreigner, Elton John, Bon Jovi. My goodness, me and Bon Jovi were born in the same month and year, which is shocking. You know, it's like so we're the same age together. So I basically my adult life was him, you know, along with all these other bands. But I couldn't stand listening to anything that sounded like it was screaming, like AC/DC or and nobody. Wait, y'all don't fire me in a minute because I'm going somewhere with this. But I couldn't stand to listen to Led Zeppelin or AC/DC or Rush or any of that. But now, as an old, even Guns N' Roses way back when. But now I can't get enough of them. It's the strangest thing that's happened to me. But now that I'm an older adult, all this music that I couldn't stand in my younger years, I love it now as an older adult. And I kind of think that maybe I've sat and I've thought about this for a long while is why am I okay with it now, but I wasn't okay with it then? And I think the reason I wasn't okay with it then is because of my childhood history and the noise of all of it. And so whenever I would hear screaming, it was a trigger, and I didn't realize it was a trigger. But now, when I hear loud guitars in the middle of a Guns N' Roses song, I'm just sitting there like, I just want to hear this part only, just this part. Let's do this over and over. And I'm suddenly finding my love of these guitars when they do this fancy stuff that, you know, when I was younger, I couldn't stand it, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Led Zeppelin. I growing up, it was always the last song of every school dance was Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven, yeah.
Every single school dance. So I had this sort of thing against Led Zeppelin because I was so burnt out on that song. But I relatively recently heard their song, the Rain Song.
Yeah.
And I was just, it was one of those days, like I just said to shuffle songs by them. And this song started to play and I stopped sewing.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. And just the words and the melody. And it was just this beautiful, beautiful song. And I said, why have I been writing them off all these years?
Yeah.
Because, and honestly, it's just, I was so tainted by Stairway to Heaven.
Yep.
That I just, no. And that song would come on, I'm like, no, turn it off. No, can't do it.
And I love how some of the older bands like the Eagles, you know, I used to think that I liked some of the Eagles music when I was younger, but now every time I hear more of the older stuff, the more I realized I liked it. So it's strange with me. There was some songs that I liked. I just didn't know who was singing them. And with the Eagles, they had different. There was 2 or 3 singers that was in and out of the band. Like Glenn Fry was one of them, and I forget the other 2. You know, they kind of migrated in and out of the Eagles on and off over the years. And then I listened to a song that they played on the YouTube. It was a YouTube video, and all 3 of them singers was there and they were playing Hotel California. And I swear I do not remember hearing that guitar sound that way in that song on the radio or on a vinyl that I might have. But when you listen to it on YouTube and you have all three of those that didn't used to be in the band together at one point or another, that are now in the band together playing that part of the guitar part of Hotel California, you're like, gosh, that's the sweetest sound I think I ever heard, you know? It's just
Yeah, and it's one thing to hear a song live,
Yep.
a live performance. Maybe not necessarily, you don't have to be there live in concert, but just hear a live version of it versus a pre-recorded version
yeah.
of it. It can be a very different experience.
Yep.
And how that song goes for you, and how it, like, how much you like it or don't like it, or what have you. So you never know.
Rita says she loves listening to Kenny G play. I do too. That is so funny. He plays a soprano saxophone. That's the other thing. You have bands like Foreigner, who has a sax player, and he plays both. His sax player plays both the alto and the tenor.
Soprano.
And I haven't seen him play a soprano, but I've seen him play a tenor and a alto. And my brother and my sister both play saxophones. Now, my brother can play all of them, all four of them. And when you hear a saxophone in a rock song, oh my goodness. But then if you go back to when you were listening to bands like, I don't know how far you go back on R&B and stuff, but you have Kool and the Gang, and you have, what's that other big band? Commodores, and there was a couple other bands similar, and they had all that brass playing in the background, and you're thinking, God, that's so amazing. And then you get older and you sit and you watch it, because there's so many videos of them doing it live, and you're thinking, I don't remember hearing that sound like what you were talking about in a pre-record, but on a live you're hearing it and you're like, that's truly amazing.
Yeah, it depends on the mix and how that comes across when they do that. Now, I'm not being a musician. I may have been in band, but I'm no musician by any stretch of the imagination. But I can appreciate good music when I hear it. And that's one of the things that you mentioned that touched me when I was listening to the Rain song. I like classical music, is that there are parts that sound as if there was an orchestra playing, but it wasn't.
Have you ever heard of Trans-Siberian?
Love them. Orchestra, yes. Love them.
Have you heard them play with Metallica?
Yes.
That
yes.
That is so amazing, because you got Metallica and Trans-Siberian Orchestra playing together, and the way they play together, it's like, oh my God. I would give just about anything to see them in a live concert together. I've never been to a concert in my whole life. I don't even know that I could handle that many people screaming in my ear when they're playing, because I never took a leap of faith to go to one. I was afraid. And but I would love to sit and listen to them play with Metallica, because I think I would totally be into it.
That would be it would be cool to see it live. And actually, speaking of live performances, I don't know if you've seen those candlelight concerts that are popular now. Well, they're doing one here locally, and they're featuring Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
Oh, wow.
And yes, so it's not on a Thursday night, but it's only like an hour performance. And I said, I think my kids might have to go to bed a little bit later that night, because I've been wanting to go to one of those candlelight concerts. And
sounds like fun.
I used to dance ballet as a kid, and I danced partly into college, and then I picked ballet back up while I was living in Germany.
There's another Styx lover in here. Oh, and Moody Blues lover. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of Styx, that reminds me of, that was one of the, like, in my 4 years in high school, we played for us, in high school, oldies, but we did Styx, what was that song? Why can I not think of the name? Roundabout? Is that who sang Roundabout with 6?
No.
No.
Their songs are like Come Sail Away, Babe, Mr. Roboto
that's gonna
stuff,
kill me.
Gilroy
What
was
song
here.
did we play?
It was
Anyway,
yeah.
that was my first introduction to 6 because
Unless it was Sweet Madam Blue. Was it that?
What song?
Sweet Madam Blue?
No.
So you want to hear
look this up now. I'm like gonna go on Google.
Yeah. So you want to hear something funny? I have every one of their original covered vinyl albums. All of them.
Really?
Because I was and still am, I'm an avid Styx fan. And
That's awesome.
So there's some comments in here. Rita says one of her favorite songs is All for Love. Song and lyrics are by Rod Stewart, Brian Adams, and Sting are amazing to listen to. Yep, we know that song. And then Lori says, I have every single one of Kenny G's Christmas albums. And then Rita says, oh, wow, Katie, I have been to several Styx, Ozzy, and Moody Blues concerts.
Osborne.
Oh, man. Nights in White Satin is really great, Lori.
That's really cool. Yes, music is one of those things that transcends, and you can connect with people so quickly over music. It's not even funny. It's kind of like quilting. You want a way to meet people and find a connection, you find quilters, and next thing you know, you have like best friends. It's like you've known each other forever.
So, don't anybody get upset what I'm going to ask, because we're not going to go political here, but did you happen to watch the halftime show by any chance?
I did.
What did you think about that? Because I went back and rewatched it 2 or 3 times so I could understand the, parts of it, but it was amazing what he did. I mean, I'm not familiar with him as a singer because, you know, I don't listen to hip hop all that much, but I was just like, wow. And the woman that sang, I didn't know who she was either, but I liked the fact that she wasn't half naked on the stage.
Yeah, I thought that it was a well-placed and well thought out.
Somebody spent some time getting that in the order that he did it in.
Right. And the message that he was trying to convey, I thought, you know, there's been arguments either way. Is that the place, you know, or the time? You know, when is it ever necessarily the right place or time for any sort of
you
thing?
have to do it when you do it. If you got the
exactly, if you're given the platform, you're given the opportunity, then you do what you do.
I mean, I had to go look up some of the language, you know, the words, some of the words he was using, because
the lyrics,
because I didn't even know what they meant. I had to go look them up. I'm like, what does that word mean? And then I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Because I never heard that word before.
Well, you know what? And it's so funny. I am kind of experiencing that kind of, I think, what my parents went through when I was a kid, and how different we'll call them slang words or other words that just come about as part of you know, pop language, if you will.
Now there's new slang.
They said something, and I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
So where was I at when that word came out? Yeah.
They're like, no, now my parents. Don't tell my parents I said this.
It's like when I came back to the States this last time, and also I've seen this word used a lot on YouTube over the last 2 years, is segue. I'm like, what does segue mean? So I went and looked it up, and I'm like, why don't they just use a regular word? Why use that word? Because I'm like, you know,
segue as in like segue into a different topic, or segue as in like the thing you ride?
Segue as into a different topic.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. So I had to go look that up, because I'm pretty good with defining words without really looking them up, because, you know, once you learn roots and all these other kind of things, you can tell by parts of a word what it might mean.
Right.
But every now and then there's a word that comes out and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Oh, well, because the words that are chosen are just completely like they just make they're completely different. Like I made the leap when my kids came home and they said sus. I'm like, do you mean sus as in like suspect? And they're like, I don't know. I'm thinking, oh, I think you two to learn what these words mean before you start saying them.
I remember the first time mine came home as teenagers or in middle school. And I think it was the oldest one. She says, oh, snap. And I'm like, wait a minute. What does that mean? She says, Mom, it's the same thing as saying the SH word. I'm like, oh, you found another way of using a cuss word without saying it.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, it's so funny how that happens. But, you know.
I can remember when I was probably in, I don't know, first or second grade, and we were in the car with my mom, and my mom had went and picked up our maternal grandmother, which was her mom. And I said, look at that crap on the side of the road. And I got popped by my grandmother. Oh. You don't talk like that. Little girls don't use the word crap. And I'm looking at Mom. I'm like, what did I say?
Right. But because even still, like between generations, like that can be what can be considered not a swear word to some is a swear word to others. You know, like darn it and crap or something like along those lines. To some is no big deal, and then to others it's like, where's the stuff? I gotta wash your mouth out.
The thing with kids is the biggest thing that gets me. I don't know. I do it. I even see adults do it sometimes, and I want to correct them. Is when they come home and they'll say, "She goes." He said this about so and. They don't say he said or they said. It's he goes and repeats something.
Right.
And so. And it became an epidemic for a while with all three of them. And one day they came in and they were talking about someone saying something, but they were saying he goes, she goes. I said, where are they going? Mom, that's not what I mean. I said, where are they going? Mom, that's not what I said, I know what you're saying. So how about using the proper English instead of using he goes, she goes, because you're using it improperly and I'm just not going to let it go. And they stopped saying he goes, she goes around me.
And the same thing with like. And she was all like, and he was like, and they were like, oh, gosh, too funny. Well, Katie, this has been absolutely so much fun. I don't know if any questions have come up on the chat. I can't see it. I'm not on I didn't go to the YouTube link.
Okay, so for those of you wondering what's about to happen, Shereece is going to have to go. So if you have any questions you want to ask, and I'm going to share her channel one more time. If you have not gone over to subscribe to her channel, please jump over there and do that to share your love. And if you have a question, ask now because she does have to go. And hey, can we get together again?
Oh, absolutely. That would be awesome. Yeah, we're my PTO board is we're having a girls' night tonight, just us, and because my kids are with their dad this weekend, and so we are celebrating our year and how well it's gone. And it was like, finally, we can actually do this, and we don't have, we didn't have any opportunities before the end of the year. And one of the moms, she won't be here next school year, so we're having a PTO board ladies' night. Yeah.
Do you happen to have the 4th Saturday free by any chance?
February?
I have a reason for asking. Janice is going to be on my live that 4th Saturday, and Shonda's going to come and sew with us too. You want to join Shonda and Janice and me and sew?
What 4th Saturday of this month?
Yeah, that would be February. Hang on, I got to go get my calendar. Babe, it's in there by the bed, I think.
That would be next Friday, the 22nd.
No, next Saturday.
I mean, sorry, next Saturday is 22nd.
Yeah, next Saturday, yeah, because Janice comes and sews with me every 4th Saturday, and I had talked to Shonda, and Shonda said she was open for sewing next Saturday too. If you have it open and you're not busy, you can come and hop on with us too, and we'll all sew together because Janice and Shonda hasn't met each other on a Zoom live. And I know they haven't met you on a Zoom live. So I think it would be fun if all of us got together and you guys, create a new friendship.
Okay. So do you have the time that you're meeting
It'll start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually try not to go any later than I can't do it at 8 o'clock my time, no, I'm sorry, let me try that again. I can't do it at 8 o'clock your time because then it puts me at 11 o'clock my time.
Right.
And by then I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can hold a good conversation or not.
I don't know where it is.
We figured out.
I get it. And honestly, because we talked about tonight, it's like we're getting together, at 7 o'clock on a Saturday. Like, what are we normally doing at 7 o'clock when we're just any other night? They're like getting into PJs. Exactly. It's like,
hey, listen here now. You can get in your pajamas and come sew. I don't care.
I honestly, I would not be, have anything against that. I actually, I only
see people do it all the time. It's not a crime.
My house. I have a comfy pants today.
You're not in your birthday suit. Oh, now, if you came out with a camisole on or something, that might be. But if you want to sew in your pajamas, you're welcome to. But I just thought, if you're free and you have the time, come on over to next Saturday and sew with all of us.
Okay,
and you can be together too.
I might have two little heads that poke in and out.
We're fine. I don't care. As long as you don't mind them poking their head in there, I'm fine. I really don't have any restrictions on my lives, to be honest.
Yeah, because it would be more so my daughter, because she likes to poke her. Who are you talking to?
Hi.
Yeah, exactly. Hi.
It's okay with me. I have a four-legged critter. She's just now starting to make noise. But sometimes you'll be here sewing and you'll hear her barking like, I want attention too. Why not,
Right, absolutely. I taught a virtual class for a Quilt Fest virtual schoolhouse a few weeks ago in January. It was in January, whenever that was. And I scheduled it during the day, during the week. They're supposed to be at school. But guess what? Georgia gets like a snowstorm. Yay, there's no school for 2 days for both days that I have to teach. So
I missed something up here. Lori Clark says, my son makes guitars. Always music in this house. Wow.
Love it. Love it.
That is so cool.
That is very cool.
So no one has questions for Shereece before she has to leave? The live's not ending, but she has to go because she had plans. Do you want me to send you a Zoom for next weekend?
Yes, please. That would be awesome.
This is going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh.
That will be great.
Okay, I'll make sure you get the same information the other two are going to get because this will be a lot of fun.
It will be. It will be. So thank you so much for having me this evening.
Thank you for coming, and I am so happy that we finally could hook up together again. It's been a while, and I was definitely worried about you, especially because sometimes people don't always tell you what's going on. All you get is I've been sick, and then I'm like, that doesn't sound promising, But right. I'm glad you're on your feet and on the mend, and I'm happy for you about that. And I'm sorry you got hurt that way.
Thank you. Yep, and I'm excited because my hair is mostly grown back, so people can't tell. But for the longest, I wore a hat or a bandana or something on my head. So I started in October going coverless, and I'm going to get back to me, and it's been a journey, that's for sure. But I am looking forward to next week, and hopefully those of you that are joining us tonight will be there again next week.
Yes, indeedy. Okay, thank you for coming, and I'll send you an email later, probably tomorrow, with all the information. And I appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Have
Katie.
fun tonight, and good night.
Will do.
Bye. Okay, so now you got just me and Nikolaj. What time is it, baby?
No clue.
9:24. So we've been going 2 hours. So we'll go 30 more minutes. Are you up for going through? Where are you at on building stuff anyway?
Building the PlayStation
now. What do you want? Is there any pig ears left?
No.
So maybe we could just go ahead and give her chicken. What do you think? Lori, I'm not leaving. She's just leaving. What do you want? What do you want? Hmm? You got something? Do you need to go shoo shoo? Is that what it is? Do you need to go shoo shoo?
Someone there.
It must be shoo shoo time. She must have to go bad for all that racket. Yeah. So today, well, since yesterday, I don't remember exactly what time it started, but we have had a wind event going on, and it's still going on. It's huh? It's still going on for Monday. It's going to keep on going till tomorrow too, or Monday? Oh my gosh, it's going to go on for 2 more days. So anyway, right now our temperature is, well, it was 40 degrees earlier, but now it's 37 degrees. This wind has been going on for 2 days now. It's going to go on tomorrow and Monday, and it wouldn't surprise me one little bit if we don't lose like 50% of the snow that was on the ground. And so last night I couldn't sleep because of the wind slamming into the windows, and you could hear it. It was just shaking the house, and I don't sleep so good when the weather's this way. I don't like the wind, is what it is, and it also creates breathing problems with my asthma. So we've been toughing it out with this weather. It's been very strange. But I saw on the weather news that the United States is going to have the deep freeze next week because the polar vortex is going to break down again. And I think that's why we're having the weather we're having, where it's warming up, because every time the polar vortex drops down to the United States, we get warmer. Yes, 37 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So we're well above freezing right now. That's why the snow is disappearing. Well, the wind is adding to the problem. So if you're wondering, looky here, I have sewed this many. See all of them? While we've been talking, I've been sewing. She had to go?
Yeah,
both of them. Okay, that's why she was fussing. But I bet in about 15 minutes, she's going to be asking for something else. Must have been all those treats in that ball, huh? Yeah. I'm hoping I can make a pretty good sized quilt with these, with all these charm squares. 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Yep.
So quite windy outside.
I know, I can hear it. It's bouncing off the windows in here.
And it's clear sky, but still windy.
You notice it's not hot in here, right?
That's
I would have already been complaining about being hot.
It's perfect.
It's perfect right now because Siberia blowing outside. How much of that snow's gone out there now? Still quite a bit.
Yeah.
What about up by the road though?
Still.
Because it looks like downstairs, babe.
Yeah.
Down there. It looks like a lot of it smelled it down there.
There's like
what? Some heat? It's only 78 degrees here right now. Yeah. Next week. I don't know where you live at, Rita, but next week, part of the United States is going to be in a deep freeze because the polar vortex is going to fall apart. It's going to go. I saw where California got a bad, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
That bad storm they got yesterday. And Oregon got, or it was either Oregon or Washington State that got hit with all that snow. I'm just going to keep sewing these dark ones to this lighter yellow, and I'm going to sew all the grays to the darker yellow. And then I'll worry about matching them after I get them all pressed. Or figure out how I'm going to set them up anyway. Because there's a lot of these. This is going to take a while to make this quilt. But I have plenty of time to make it. I have an entire year to make it. Not affecting Arizona. You're not going to get any of that cold stuff. Lori says we are getting hammered in snow. And June, hey June Billings, welcome, welcome. She says it's 37 here in London right now too. Wow, you have the same temperature we have. Have you gotten much snow where you're at, June? Rita says affecting Montana to Maine, then maybe some parts of Texas are going to get this. I live in southern Arizona, so nope. Okay. By the way, for those that don't know this, if you type, and I'm going to type it here in a minute. Uh-oh, I need to get in the chat. Oh, yeah, I'm there. If you type exclamation weather, and then where you live at, and I'm going to put where I live at, you can put your zip code. I think the zip code will also work, but not for Greenland. But if you type this, you will get a weather report, or it should. Wake up, bot. Yeah, look, weather for here is partly cloudy wind with temperatures of 39 degrees Fahrenheit, and the wind is blowing from the northeast at 30 miles an hour, 48 kilometers an hour, and the current humidity is 55%. So I can go like this, and I can see what the temperature is where my youngest daughter lives, which is in Hanford, California. And I spelled that wrong. June says, hi, Katie. No snow at all and only a couple of flurries this whole winter. Hanford has 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the southeast at 0 miles per hour. Now let's go check out Georgia. Carrollton. Weather for Carrollton is fog with temperatures of 55 degrees and the wind is blowing from the east at 4 miles an hour. Humidity is 89%. Now I'm going to go to Florida. See, this little bot is cool, y'all. Because I can check out everybody's weather. And it's, wow, it's 77 degrees in Lake City, honey. They are already in summertime weather. Wow. Now let's check out one other place. I want to see what it's like in Syracuse. Syracuse, New York. Wow, they're colder than us, baby. Syracuse, they're 25 degrees and the wind is blowing from the east at 8 miles an hour and the humidity is 90% there. Wow. So they're cold. Rita says Arizona is different whether you live in northern or southern Arizona. Cold up north, but hot in the southern. Okay. I did not know that. See, Florida's different. When it gets cold in North Florida, it gets cold. And if it happens to drop down low enough, it might even affect Central Florida. Okay, let's look at this poll that I posted because I haven't talked about it yet. So the poll says, which number best describes your number of charm packs in your stash? And I should have put one on here where it said 0 because there might be a couple people who don't have any. 72% said 1 to 10. 11 to 20 said 13%. 21 to 30 charm packs was 5%. And those with more than 31 charm packs, 10%. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. Lenox, Michigan. Ooh, 31 degrees. The wind is blowing from the north-northwest at 2 miles an hour, and her humidity is 95%. Wow, that's a pretty high humidity. Is Stephanie still here by any chance? Let me see if she's still in the channel or not. Hey, Stephanie, if you can hear me, would you be interested in coming to sew with me next weekend too? Join Janice and Shonda and Shereece, Shereece as well. Are you there? Should have had 0. I do not buy charm packs. Yeah, I was just thinking I should have put 0 up there because I forgot there's a couple people that don't buy charm packs. I'm hoping to put a heart on mine with all this sewing I've been doing. Okay, so now I need to come up with another question. I know, and I know I've asked this question probably before. What do you like best? Wait, I need to specify that better. Charm pack. And then next one can be jelly. Oh, and then the last one is yardage. Okay, here's the new poll. So are you doing the charm pack chili? Yes, Rita, that's what I'm working on right now. So I'm just sewing a bunch of squares to the background, and then once I get all of that done, then I'll start making the 4 patches. I'll get all that done, and then I'll be doing this over a period of time, so you're going to see me do it on a certain day of the month until I get all of them done where I can start cutting them down the middle. All right, the question for the poll is, what do you like having in your stash the best? Fat eighths or quarters? Layer cakes, charm packs, or mini charms? Jelly or honey rolls, or yardage? I can tell you I prefer your yardage and fat quarters. I've gotten where I don't buy layer cakes or jelly rolls anymore. And I'm trying to use up what I do have as far as these pre-cuts. But yes, I'm doing the chili, the charm pack chili, Rita. Gonna take all these charms and turn them into something. Might run out of these light yellow. I might have to cut some more yardage, babe, but not tonight. When I run out, I'll just put this dark color aside and continue on with the lighter color. Might get a lot of these done as half passes. I told you in about 10 minutes, didn't I, babe?
What?
See her in here?
Yeah.
She's wanting something else now, and I know what that is. It's in the refrigerator, by the way.
I don't know.
And we do have.
I finished that old one, but man, it was kind of stale.
That toast?
Yeah.
What about the new one? Have you tried that one yet?
Not yet.
I was gonna say, why not do that one? I could take some of that gluten-free bread and make me some toast out of it. Or I could take the gluten-free bread. Hey, babe, you said you bought a 15 pack, right?
Yeah.
I only need 2 eggs for the meatloaf tomorrow. I could take 4 eggs and make scrambled eggs, and then take the gluten-free bread and toast them in the toaster and make egg sandwiches. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we could.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I should be able to make enough. Well, I could use maybe I could use half the eggs and make a bunch of scrambled eggs and make you 2 sandwiches. We could have 2 apiece. You up for that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then tomorrow I'll make the meatloaf. And I need to get it in the oven early because of the live tomorrow. If I don't normally do live on Sunday, and I'm doing one tomorrow. Okay, so what has everybody been doing today besides watching lives? Anyone been sewing all day? You know what I was doing till what time did I finally try to go to sleep?
3, 4.
Yeah, it was like 3 o'clock this afternoon. I finally tried to take a nap. I spent all of last night sewing, and I'm going to show you what I was sewing. You get a sneak peek because this is the sew along I'm doing with Jess. Let's hope I don't accidentally cut myself off. I did all of that last night.
Pratt 46 asked me a question.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. That's that Magnolia Modern Quilt. I could take the phone off the thing, but I really don't want to because I want you to see what I'm doing. What do you put in your meatloaf? Oh, normally I will use, and tomorrow it'll just be missing one thing. Tomorrow I'll be putting pasta sauce in it, eggs that have been whipped, oatmeal, very finely chopped onion, and yeah, that's it. But normally I put cheese in it too, but I'm out of cheese. So no cheese in this one this go around. Sometimes I don't put the oatmeal in it because I put the cheese in it. I'm going to feed you soon. Lori says she's been doing 240 snowballs and she's halfway through them. Rita says making a secret and finishing up, then going to put flange binding on it. Hey, I need to watch someone do flange because I don't even know what that means. What is Nikolaj work? Hey, Linda, how are you? He is working on the Lego City police station.
It's like the
because oatmeal makes the meat stick. Rita, I don't like using bread.
look like this. There's a bad guys in it too.
I definitely don't like putting bread in my meatloaf or crackers. Oatmeal's a southern thing probably because that's how my mother taught me to make it. I've just modified it since then. If I'm eating keto, I don't put any oatmeal in it. I just use cheese.
I think I know why you didn't put any bread or crackers in it.
I don't like them in it.
You know why? You'll be crackling like a cracker.
You are so funny. I'm already a cracker. What are you talking about? Unlike you.
Well.
Yeah, I don't like crackers at all. Even saltines get soggy. Oatmeal, you don't even know it's there.
Oh yeah. Who's up for a cookie?
Uh-oh. You can feed the orca a cookie.
Yeah, I can. There's a little piece of a cookie. Let him make a cookie or a donut.
It looks like a donut.
Hey,
It
okay,
would be a donut because it's a police station.
Yeah.
And donuts in police stations seem to be a thing. Brat says, I don't use eggs as I'm intolerant, but I do use barbecue sauce, breadcrumbs, and wrapping bacon. Ooh, barbecue sauce does sound like it would be tasty. As far as the bacon, I don't know about. Hello, I'm lurking and finishing up my quilt. Hey there, Leanna. How are you? Hey, Candace. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Michelle. Michelle says, hi, Katie and Niko. I watched you on and off today, along with many others. I am putting together 3 wheelchair quilts for a donation for our local quilt. Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, Michelle.
Let me see here. Linda says, thanks. Where do you put all the, huh? Linda says, thank you. Where do you put all of these? You're going to have to add an additional or an addition. Love those colors, Katie. She's talking about all your Legos, babe.
Yeah, well, right now I'm just filling this up, the one that I had in the back. When I'm done with them, I dismantle them again.
Michelle says, police station. Laugh out loud with donuts. She's got little emoji donuts.
Yeah.
And I'm liking these colors too. I think this is going to look good when I get it all done. But this is going to take a while because I have a lot of these charmed squares. Should make a nice size quilt top, and then I'll have to send it off to get it quilted because I think it's going to be too big for my machine.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Here's some of the Lego personnel here.
What are they wearing? Oh,
that's Ice Cube costume, but it is if I remove this, it will be, oh, it's a bandit. It's a thief with a crowbar.
Oh boy. We have a thief in the house. Where's those dogs so they can catch the thief?
I haven't. Right now, I only have one here.
Where's the rest of them?
Put in place in there.
You hid them so I couldn't steal them?
Yeah.
Man. I'll trade you the orca for the dogs.
Too late for that. Not gonna happen, my love.
Oh, come on.
Not gonna happen.
Well, then you're not getting your orca back.
Oh, I will.
That orca's mine now.
Yeah, right.
The shark is up here somewhere unless you already swiped it.
Nope, I didn't.
He fell out of the orca's mouth.
It should be near you then.
Yeah, I picked it up and put it somewhere up here. I use crushed saltine crackers, chopped onions, fresh garlic, parsley, chopped tomatoes, eggs, and sometimes mushrooms, and extra lean hamburger, and then I make a tomato honey glaze for the top. I like putting white cheddar or mild cheddar in my meatloaf. And if I had shallots, they would be shallots in it also. My first mother-in-law, she would put English peas in the meatloaf. That was the strangest thing I'd ever seen. Good night, Mona. Thank you for coming.
Night, Mona. Well, good that we didn't get into the European musicians, huh?
I didn't think about
Oh,
talking about the Scorpions because they're European.
Yep.
Let's see, there's the Scorpions. Who else is from over here that is a rock band or heavy metal?
Iron Maiden?
Yeah, you're the Iron Maiden fan. I'm not so much.
Yep. Well,
Rod Stewart's from the UK, I think.
yeah, I think
So I like his music too. Who else can I think of? Dang it. I'll think of someone else in a minute. This is my recipe my maternal Italian grandmother used. So if I changed it, I'd hear her screaming in my, oh my gosh, Rita, I know what you mean. The first time I made my own homemade red sauce, and I made it, I like red sauce thick. My mother threw a fit. She says, I didn't teach you to make red sauce like this. I said, Mom, yours is too watery and I mean, it's good, but I like mine rich and thick. The thicker, the better.
You like my soup too?
Oh, and Nikolaj makes the best ever soup. Oh my gosh. No one makes soup like he does. We're going to feed you soon, okay? Can you drop those 2 chicken legs in the bowl when you have a chance? Along with 1 egg. Nora, come here. What is it, girl? Come here. It's okay. What's up, girl? Huh? What are you doing? Huh? What you doing? What? Come here. Come here. Up. You want to come up here with me? Come on. This is what's been. Ah! You're gonna hurt yourself. I'm sorry, but she knows what you're doing. Let her go. Oh.
Yep.
You should have seen how she jumped off of me. I'm trying to hang on to her, and she's like this worm, you know. She's really strong dog. Oh my goodness. Rita says, same with when I make pasta sauce. Have to cook it for at least 18 hours or grandma screams in my ear. Mind you, you do. She did not really speak English. Haha. Here screaming Italian in the ear is not fun. I can imagine. I want to go to Italy just so I can eat the food. That would be the only reason to go to Italy, is to go enjoy all the different types of food, except the kind that has seafood in it anyway.
I'll be all right there.
But you'd be in heaven. I'm not eating mussels. No thanks. No thank you.
What about crab? Snow crab.
I don't know. I'm just not. If you could give me the crab while it was hot, I would eat it. But as soon as it gets cold, I'm totally turned off by it. I just don't like cold seafood at all. You, on the other hand, you'll eat it raw, so you don't care if it's hot or warm or not.
Snow crab, I need to have it cooked.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask you if you'd eat snow crab raw or not.
No, I can't eat it raw.
Is it too fishy or what?
No, it's the meat's not
Tender?
no, thick. I mean, like it should be.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You know, I could make not tomorrow, but the next day I could make I have flour in the house. I could fry up some cod fillets. Want to have that?
Oh yeah. Why
Because
not?
I think that would be yummy. Fry some cod up. We haven't eaten cod in a while.
No, we haven't. Even salmon.
We haven't eaten salmon in a while either. You're not supposed to eat shellfish raw. Here they eat shrimp raw, Rita. Northern Atlantic shrimp is perfectly fine raw.
Oh yeah.
Unless it's been sitting out too long.
Yep. Fresh ones.
If they're fresh, it's okay to eat it raw. You don't see Greenlanders dying from it. They eat a lot of things raw here. They eat raw shrimp, salmon. Sometimes I don't know. Do you eat raw cod too?
No.
I didn't think I'd seen anybody eating raw cod.
Well, yeah, we could, but you have to dry it then, you know.
Dried fish, yeah. Uh-oh, I think I ran out of. Yes, wait. Yep, I'm out of the light color. Okay, so we only had a few. I still have a lot of blue left over too. So I'm gonna set the blue aside and we're gonna concentrate on this lighter blue. They also eat whale fat and blubber raw. And sometimes Nikolaj will eat whale meat raw. The indigenous here can eat a lot of things raw without cooking it and not get sick. But the animals here are not polluted with pollution either. Most everything's not got bad things in them. I would be in so much trouble as about 4 months ago. After these years, I am allergic to all types of seafood. I used to love seafood and now it gives me seizures. Ouch, that's not good. Maybe it's something that the seafood's ingested that is prevalent to your area. I don't eat seafood raw, not even shrimps. I'm just not.
That's because you're a chicken.
My husband and my kids love eating sushi. So all of them are in their element when they get together and they go have sushi together. You could pay me enough to eat sushi. Yeah, whale is good. As far as seal, no, not happening.
That's because you never have it.
I can't stand the smell of it.
No. Ooh.
It stinks. Whale doesn't smell like that. Not even in its raw form. Even I can smell the seal sometimes in the factory from the skin. When they first take it out of the container.
Well, the seal oil is you need to have food for that, Sylvia. Like a dry fish, and it will be good. I have some right here with me at home. Some seal oil.
And it's seal blubber?
Yeah, seal blubber and oil in it. I only eat it when
You should take that with you to the boat so you can eat it.
Blubber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you think it'll thaw out before you get there?
It will thaw out before it even gets there.
Oh, that sucks. Sounds like she's not eating the shell.
She's eating the shell.
Oh, is she?
I think she just cracked the shell.
I'd say, because I didn't hear her crunching the shell yet. So my dog is on a raw diet, by the way. So she's eating raw chicken legs and she eats raw eggs. We give her the whole egg, shell and all, and she cracks the shell with her a couple of her teeth. She breaks a little hole. She sucks out all the egg on the inside first, and then she eats the shell last. unless there's something on the shell that turns her off of it.
This was done. This is how the police station looks like. Oh.
Rita says she's tried many types of tuna, raw and cooked. Both do the same thing. I used to love sushi. Favorite is shark, but cannot eat it now. Seal is okay raw. Oh, interesting. She's had a seal. Sylvia says there was dunking food from low tide. I think English word is shit. That can't be. I must be saying that because that sounds like a bad word. Chiton or I don't know how to say it. Lori says I only eat one thing raw, fruit. Now I like eating my steaks medium rare. If it's super tender meat, I might even eat it rare.
Seal's okay raw.
That's what she said. She's eating seal. She's been exposed to it somewhere. I don't know if that's shitting
Chiton.
or chiton or
Chiton. I think chiton. H is what you call silent.
So it's chiton.
Yeah. Something
Oh,
like
okay.
I think the H is silent. So that's what you said. Chiton. I think. But I'm just guessing.
You're guessing?
Yeah, I'm just guessing.
I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look it up. Did she eat the shell?
I think so.
Sylvia just I don't know what that means either, Sylvia. Do you recognize that, honey?
Not sure.
Might have to look those up.
Yeah.
To see what see if it translates to something else. Now what do you want? You just had food. My pain. Rita said she spent some time in Anchorage back in 1985. The Athabascan people were amazing when I met them. Made me some traditional handmade mucklucks from sealskin. We'll have to see what that is. From seals. Oh, mucklucks. What are mucklucks? Southeast Alaskan Native language is it's a type of Inuit language. Okay, gotcha. I don't know if you saw Sylvia, if you go over to my Live in Greenland Facebook group, I posted a video or shared a video from Q's Greenland, and she was with a Alaskan Inuit, and they were talking about the differences between their two Inuit languages, but how they're similar in nature. It's worth going and watching it. It's like a snow boot kind of. Okay. Okay. As soon as I finish this pile right here, then we're going to. Okay. Because I'm getting close to finishing this pile. I mean, there's more to sew, but I have to recut yardage again. Good thing I had plenty of these two yellows.
Well,
I only cut like 3/4 of a yard of one of them, and I think about 3/4 of a yard of the other one. If I have that much yellow. I didn't count to see how many 5-inch squares I got out of it. It's like a soft boot, but made from animal skin, so it sounds like a gimmick. Which is Greenlandic for boot. So it's spelled like this for the Greenlandic boot. Yes, same thing she said. Okay, gotcha. You know, on these solids, I couldn't tell you what is the front and the back of these. It's so weird. And so what do they call an anorak over there in Alaska? A-N-O-R-A. It's a man's. Well, women wear anoraks too, don't they? But it's mostly men, right?
Yeah, mostly.
Because I don't really see women wearing them that much. I would not wear them outside even though I could, as the top of the boot and the sides had hand sewn beads. Yeah, I understand that. So do you have some, Rita? If you do, maybe you could take a picture of them and share them over on the Facebook group.
Say tell you something.
Huh? Wow, Sylvia. And yes, I do. Took her 8 weeks to get an oven range. You know, what we have, stove oven.
Okay.
8 weeks. Wow. One of these days, I want to make a kuspek. I have to look that one up too. Rita says, I wished I donated them to the museum when I was living in Oregon. I have to look and see if I have a picture of them, though. Okay, that would be great if you have one. Everything is in mush mode here when it comes to getting anything. You know what? That sign that got made for my Greenland Quilter channel that come from soft squares.
Yeah.
It's been sitting in Greenland somewhere for the last week and a half.
Probably Nuke or Nasaso. I don't know. What do you want? It's probably at me. Oh, you want a daddy that you can see? All right. Can I? Come here, bitch.
that what you wanted, was attention?
You're not going to get up to the table. No.
Yeah, you're not allowed on the table. Now she's gonna come in here and pester me. She might have to go back outside again. Since she just ate.
I know.
Sylvia says, my needs. And I have 2 of these left, and then that'll be when I stop for tonight. I mean, I have more down there, but I need to cut more yardage before I even mess with it.
Hey, cut it out.
I bet that's what it is.
All right then. Turd.
Notice how she was curled up underneath your blanket when I went to take a nap. And then as soon as I crawled up there, she moved and got closer to me. It's like I just want to get up against mom to make mom gripe about being hot. Because a certain dog has body heat. So who wants to guess how many of these charms I sewed to the yellow? I'm fixing to count them. Y'all guess in the channel how many you think I've sewed.
Yeah, they have a body heat, all right. Especially when I've been teaching her sometimes, or excited. Man, they can have a body heat big time. I can't find Sharky.
Don't distract me. I'm counting.
11.
Stop. If you make me count this again, I'm gonna.
Oh, try me. Ooh. What did I come to? Oh yeah, I know. You know me, honey.
I know.
Never a dull moment. Well, since you need the cutting table, I need to move my other belts away. Sophie. Yeah.
Y'all gonna guess?
Somebody's counting too. I don't know.
They might be counting with me.
Last row of snowballs. Want to start the snowball fight, Lori? I got plenty out outside. Rita said maybe 100. Ha ha ha. Laura said 84. Sylvia said 46. Rita said 50 to 45 to 50. But more like 100.
All right, let's see who's closest.
Yeah, it's just a few of them. But you can see here, Laura, it's just a few of them. I got
oh, someone is like 2 away from where I just counted. Come here, honey. Come here. See that? Then you want to tell who the winner is? Because she's the closest. And the winner is Lori Clark. I have 82 that I've sewed today on the live. That's how many I counted.
Yeah.
So that was 2 full charm packs. Well, short one. Well, yeah, if you have 42 in a charm pack, I was 2 away from sewing 2 full charm pack fulls. Although these come from multiple charm packs because I just pulled blues and grays out. So Lori guessed the closest. Congratulations, you are the winner of that guessing. All right, let's look at the poll and then we're gonna call it. What do you like having in your stash the best? 29% says fat ace and quarters. 14% said layer cakes, charm packs, or mini charms. 0, look at that, 0 for honey rolls or chili rolls, which is, I agree with them on it because I only have like 3 or 4.
Yardage.
57% is up my alley with yardage. Congratulations on that. So that's the end of this poll. Okay. All right. Just to remind you that I will be doing a live tomorrow. The live that we're doing tomorrow is a once a month kind of thing if it goes well. We won't know how well it goes until we do it tomorrow. But if we get a lot of positive feedback out of it, then me and Danny will probably do it once a month so that people can come and talk. So if you're up for listening to talking about mental health and stuff, please join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or, we're going to sew, but we're going to be talking about stuff like that too. So it's going to be about that. I'm hoping that I can start a little community where people can feel safe enough to come and talk about that kind of thing. I know Rita said she's going to be there. So it starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope to see all of y'all there because you might have family member or you suffer from depression or anxiety. We're going to be talking about depression, anxiety, PTSD a little bit. We're not going to go into any kind of depth of how we all got there to be this way. That's not the plan. We just want to talk about it and share what we do to get through a bad time. 2 p.m. Arizona time. Yep. All right. Thank you for coming tonight, everyone. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live, and I hope you enjoyed seeing Shereece. Next Saturday, it's going to be Shereece, Shonda, and Janice. So make sure you put that on your calendars. That will start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have my regular lives, of course, next week too. But I wanted you to know that there's going to be 3 of them sewing with me, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, if you want to come join me on a live YouTube sew, I have it. I'm going to share my email here. If you don't mind showing your face and you want to be part, come up and sew with me, email me at the email the bot shares here, and I will answer it, and we'll figure out what nights you can come and sew with me. Anyone's welcome. You don't have to be a member of the channel to join the sew on the Zoom, as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I'm just offering it in case somebody wants to sew with me because I really like having the company. So have a great night. thank you for coming, and thank you for not walking out when we had a few discussions earlier. And thank you for letting Shereece feel welcome. It was so good to see her again. So remember, live, laugh, love, and dream. And what do you do from all of that?
Create
You
some.
create something. So y'all have a nice night. And Nikolaj has what, a little over a week and a half left?
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks left, and then it's bye back to his mistress again. So enjoy him while you can, because he's not got much longer as well. So good night, everyone.
Night,
See you on the
everyone.
next live video. I think someone wants to go outside.
No, just sure. Just want attention.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah. Just want attention.
See, my viewership's down tonight. I don't know what the deal is with that. Oh man.